So here we go, y'all. We're going to make some of these WACKO worms, my Senko style worm that I make with the hardcore center. I did a video the other day on how I make those. We've got a worm weight durometer, a fairly soft durometer in here right now, and we're going to cook it to a substantial temperature. That's that and the mixing the plastic. Man, you don't get those two things done, you cannot believe the mess you come up with. So we're going to get with this. I'm going to do a color. I think it'll be pretty cool, and wait for it to get hot. We're going to try for a pretty light watermelon. Not a lot of pigment here. I was going to make a conglomeration color out of a bunch of remelt plastic, but I had an order come in for this, and I thought, well, we'll give it a try. Don't want to go too dark. We'll try that. Sometimes you don't know till you pour your first ones, and there's no such thing as a bad plastic worm, bad color. There just isn't any such thing. But when you're trying to match something for somebody, you try to get pretty close the first time. And I am by no means a professional at this. This takes a long time to learn what pigments do, what glitter does. I hardly make a bait without a little bit of black glitter. It's almost impossible. Black adds a texture, a depth to the bait. Of course, it darkens it up just a little bit. You got to be careful of that. Hoping I hit this right the first time. A little bit of larger black flake, just a little bit of medium, and then we're going to load it up with quite a bit of a fine red flake. And you just don't know. It's always better to start off a little bit less than what you think you need. But anyway, I'm trying to make a color specifically for a man, and it'll be a good color no matter what. I mean, it'll be a color people will want to use because it's green with red and black. I mean, it's just, I won't know till I inject the first time. I just won't know. We'll see. We're going to give it a shot. Heat it back up one more time. We'll pour some worms. Inject us some. We're going to make some plastic worms. Some WACKOs. Whoo boy, here we go. I said there's no such thing as a bad color for a plastic worm. That's so true. I just wonder how many the famous plastic colors have come about because of accidents, you know. So we're gonna, this nothing, no fancy thing here. This is just a standard light watermelon, a little bit of black flake, a little bit of red flake. We're gonna inject this first time. We'll see what it comes out like. It may be a little translucent, I don't know. And the guy I'm building these for, Tony, will see this video before I mail them to him. So if you don't like them, he can tell me, and I'll happily do something else. Whatever, these will all be fish catching worms. But man made an order. I'm going to try to get as close as I can to it. In all truthfulness, I should have shot this without the wacky wraps. I had them loaded up from last time I poured. Because your first shoot is always going to be the hardest because the mold's cold. And if you mess it up, you don't lose your wraps. If you miss your color, whatever. Just saying. So if this don't come out like I want, or if it blew the mold because it was too cold, it's on me. Let's just see what we get here. Man, y'all, I think that come out fairly close to what I was looking for. Maybe a little bit too much glitter, but man, I'm going to go ahead. Man, that's close. I'm going to add a very few more drops of watermelon. Now, I could put a drop of black in it and darken it up. I'm going to go with just a little bit more watermelon. I don't think that's too far off. Maybe a little bit too much glitter. Tony he'll look at this and he'll tell me. That's a pretty worm. That's a worm that's going to catch fish, though, no matter what. That's where we're at. That's how it works. So I showed this the other day in the video. I'll do it again. You make the wraps that you made up ahead of time, the wacky wraps. I call my hardcore. You load them in the mold a specific way. The mold's designed for this. It's excellent. Great idea. I didn't, a little extra flange on that one. Don't want too much flange on it. Anyway, you load the mold up with those, close the mold back up, and when you inject the plastic, it fills in, hopefully goes all the way through and forms a good bond, and I'll talk about that before I'm done too. Okay, so I put in a little bit more watermelon. I also added 1 drop of black. I just thought it wasn't darkened up enough. I think we're a little closer now to what I was looking for, hopefully a little closer to what the customer's looking for. We're injecting the mold nice and quick. Hold some pressure here. Now, I did not invent any of this. I want everybody to understand this is a totally new to me deal. The last year and a half or so. I'm going to put a link in the description. I remember to put a link to Chris Jones' World's Worst Fishing website. He don't need any help from me, or World channel, YouTube channel. He didn't need any help from me. But this is where I got a lot of my information from. He's a great teacher, tutor, and especially hand pours. So he'll show how to make hand pours in the works of art. And a lot of people may get a kick out of that too. So I'm going to be sure and put that in there because I watch several channels on YouTube. There's all kinds of good resources out there for this. But Chris Jones has been my favorite to date. This is also not a quick process, y'all. It's been close to 15 minutes since I knocked them first 5 out. What with experimenting and checking and seeing what I want to do. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That looks very close to what I think he wants. Look at that. Kind of a fairly light watermelon. A little bit of red. A little bit, 2 sides of red and a little bit of black flake. And I think that's what he's going to want. I'm going to go ahead and pour them all this way. Because that's a worm that's going to catch fish. I don't care where you're at. And I always sell them. So Tony, you'll look at this. You'll let me know, right, buddy? So, making your own baits of any kind is just fun. Catching fish on your own baits is fun. Catching fish on a creation that you come up with yourself is even more fun. One idea is you can very easily have a different color than anybody else on the planet, because no matter how many variations you think you can come up with, you can't come up with them all. You simply change your flake by a couple percent, change your color a couple percent, and you have a different looking bait. And that's the fun of it for me right there. And I'm not a big color person. I'm more of a shade person. But it's so cool to do it yourself and come up with something that maybe nobody else has. Right? That's where we're kind of at here. Custom baits, different what other people have. Mostly, kind of, somewhat. One thing I need to mention here that I haven't talked about is safety. Y'all, there's nothing safe about this stuff. It's the safest plastic you can use as far as for your lungs, but it's not safe. I have that fan going. I have that fan going, and as hot and humid as it is, I have the window open right there. And I'm hoping it's enough because I'm not getting any smells. I'm hoping it's leaving the room. And same thing with pouring lead. I've known 2 people personally have died of brain cancer. Literally brain cancer from pouring lead in an enclosed environment, and it killed one of them, 23 years old. So, not to be a big doomsday person, but there's a lot of safety involved. Not to mention the fact it's hotter than heck, it burns. And lead is the gift that keeps on giving. Also, in the last year and a half, I've tried several different plastic brands. I am using Dead On Plastics almost exclusively now, with my solar bat sunglasses, of course. I have molds from several manufacturers, from custom to the open poured, well, my own custom mold, of course. Most of these molds, this one included, are Angling AI. Very good company. You're going to spend the money to get good product. I'm tickled with everything so far. I found it's going to be better to stick with one plastisol. Colorants, I got 4 or 5 different brands of colorants over there and glitters. But the plastisol itself is the most important element. I hear people cuss this stuff, people praise it. So far, I'm pretty much, it's way good enough for me. Another fun fact is you will end up wearing glitter. Your friends will make fun of you. Your wife will make fun of you. I've got red and blue. I haven't poured any blue, but I got blue on me. Red, I got some black. I got, look at that, fine blue, medium blue. That's from the last pour. Look at that. I see it. Yeah, you're going to look like a disco duck, so I'm just passing that on. Part of the fun. Don't try this at home, y'all. Oh, warm. Ha! Y'all thought you were going to get through a video without looking at this, didn't you? Yeah, oh well. It didn't work out so well, did it? So, there's what we've come up with. I'm not going to keep filming. I'm only halfway through the pour. I do about 40 at a time. Now, if anybody wants to order any baits like this, a custom color, I need a 24 bait order. Is kind of where I'm at to make the blend work. And that would be 3 packs at $11 a pack. Now, $11 for 8 worms, I think it's reasonable because they are lasting pretty much twice as long as any other worm. It went way beyond that. Anyway, that's the way the process works. People have asked. I'm not going to do a bunch of lure making. Well, I guess it's YouTube channel. It's your channel. You tell me what you want. I'm going to do some of these in a little bit. It's probably a mistake. It's really humid. I've got the air running and the window open. That's really silly. But I'm going to close the place up and get some humidity out. I'll spray outside and come back in. Painting crankbaits in humidity is a bad deal. Or hard baits, period. That's that coffin bill flat side. I did a video a couple weeks ago. I caught some good bass on it. But only made 1 of them for me. Only ordered 5 of them to start with. And a man bought the other 4. So I've got 10 more to start on. Maybe y'all buy those too. That was really a good bait. I enjoyed that bait. So lure making. Fun stuff, y'all. Solar Bet link in description. They've extended their Father's Day sale through the end of the month. 30% off, including scripts. If you spend $98, you get a free pair of safety glasses. Pretty cool deal. If you use my promo code, it's in the description, you get free shipping. I had to throw that in too. Making bait, y'all, on a beautiful, hot summer day here in central Missouri. Let me know what y'all are thinking, because this is all about you. I can just go work somewhere else and go fishing or something. See y'all later. Bye.